There are over 75 different cars to use in Rocket League, but in this video I'm going to show you which are the best cars to use. For this list we'll be looking at different aspects of a car like air, ground and bounce dribbling, shots, flicks and 50-50s and much more. Each car body in the game has one of 6 default body types, also known as hitboxes. These different hitboxes are Octane, Dominus, Plank, Breakout, Hybrid and Merc. So let's get into today's video. Starting off with number 10, we have the Merc. The Merc is one of the cars which has its own hitbox. This car is quite large and that also makes the Merc very strong. It is not the fastest car and also has weaker statistics when it comes to boosting and turning. However, this is kind of a meme car in the Rocket League community, but it is certainly not the worst choice. The number 9 is the Lightning McQueen. This is a smaller car with the hitbox of the Dominus. This hitbox has the shape of a flat long car. Its dribbling, both on and off the ground, shouldn't be a problem at all with this car. What Rocket League didn't announce was that the hitbox would be slightly shifted backwards, so its visual appearance matches the hitbox even better. And that is the reason why the Lightning McQueen is on the 9th spot. For number 8 we have the Tesla Cybertruck. The Cybertruck uses the hybrid hitbox and matches its hitbox quite well. Only the rear part sticks out enormously. Although it's hard to tell which is the front and the back of this car, it's a strong car that can launch powerful shots. Just like the Merc, it is a little easier to hit the ball since the hybrid hitbox is quite large. But it is more difficult to turn and it's a little bit slower. The Cybertruck created by Elon Musk was a big hype when it was released in Rocket League, but that hype quickly diminished considerably. Despite that, he gets a nice 8th place. Number 7 is the Nissan Skyline. Actually, this is one of my favorite cars in real life as well, but nobody cares. Anyway, this car uses the hybrid hitbox as well, which is really weird if you compare it with the Cybertruck. In my opinion, its visual appearance should fit way better the Dominus hitbox or even the Plank hitbox, because it is a really flat car. The Skyline is mostly used for freestyling as it is one of Chaser's main cars. This car has really good flicks and power shots, but is a little bit slower in turning. But just because of its looks, it deserves a sweet 7th spot in this ranking. Next up we have the Batmobile for number 6. As you may have guessed, the Batmobile uses the Plank hitbox and because of that it is a really wide and long car. The increased length of this car compensates for the lack of surface area and low profile, allowing it to have neatly controlled air dribbling capabilities. This hitbox also allows players to flick the ball with insane power and accuracy. Also is this car valuable in defense as it blocks more of the goal because of its width and length. The bad part about this car is that it is really flat and isn't great for 50s with bigger cars. This also makes bounce dribbling a lot harder as well. It may seem great when played on the floor, but once you chase the ball up the ramps, you'll find yourself caught out by the ball's tendency to pop a little bit off the wall. And you'll probably end up driving past it, leaving yourself and your teammate in a rough spot. Coming up for number 5 is the Breakout. This is the most used and probably the best car for freestyling. But why? This car can have a big impact with its mobility and speed. Just like the Batmobile, it is great in defense because the Breakout is the longest car in the game. But this car has its very own hitbox. The Breakout will allow you to control aerials smoothly in addition to providing probably the best dribbling among the cars. It is relatively flat and that makes it more accurate and reliable to hit the balls directly into the goal. But this car also has its flaws as it prevents you from hitting the ball with power since it can't really get much power on the ball. Aside from this, because it's the longest car in the game, it's also quite hard to take sharp turns when dribbling the ball. The Shokunin takes our number 4 spot as we're moving closer to the top 3. This is a new release car coming with the Season 17 Rocket Pass and it is the first tier as well. There is a lot of hype about this car and that has a good reason. The Shokunin uses the Octane hitbox and the visual appearance of this car fits amazing in it. The car looks a bit like the Fennec and that is of course also a top tier car. The car isn't too long so it's great in turning and is really quick. Next to that, it has great ball control both in the air and on the ground. Flicks are not the strongest point of this car, but they are certainly not bad either. The car is not too flat as it uses the Octane hitbox and that makes it valuable for 50-50s as well. The Shokunin is still really new in the game and there's a lot to discover about this car. so that's the reason why he just doesn't make it to the top 3. Anyway guys, let me know what you think of this car and if you think it is gonna deserve a higher spot in this list. Then we arrive in the top 3 with the Dominus in the 3rd place. The Dominus is a relatively flat car and also has its own hitbox. Just like the Breakout, this car is often used for freestyling, but is certainly also used in ranked and casual games. Dominus is basically a big powerhouse flying through the air, smashing the ball, with great dribbling both on and off the ground due to its lengthy nose. In addition to providing powerful and precise shots, the Dominus feels less handicapped in 50-50 as well. The Dominus does not have any degradable feature, the only downside is the fact that it has a low height. The Dominus gets a well-deserved bronze medal. Our silver medal goes to the Octane. This is probably the most used and most reliable car in the game, as it's considered the best all-around car, whether it's aerials, dribbles, power shots or anything else. The Octane can provide good bound dribbling and sharp turns while dribbling. The Octane also uses its own hitbox, and it's probably the most used hitbox in all Rocket League. The best part about this car is that it is available to anybody who plays Rocket League, so even if you are in the lower ranks, I can advise you to use this car. This car provides a level of consistency that is required in the highest ranks and pro level. But there is one car that is or probably already has taken over the pro lobbies. And this takes our number 1 spot and is the Fennec. The reason why the Fennec gets the number 1 spot is because it is even more consistent than the Octane. As you may know, the Fennec uses the Octane hitbox, but the visual appearance of the Fennec matches the Octane hitbox even better than the Octane itself. This makes it easier to win 50-50s and get even more powerful and accurate shots on target. This is simply just the best car in the game at this moment, and I think it will remain that way for a while. If you don't agree with this list, let me know down below in the comments and tell me what's your favorite car to use in Rocket League.